first guest to kick off our 2 weeks worth of coverage from IFA here in Berlin. IFA, of course, the global innovation show for consumer electronics and home appliances. And they've been doing this since 1924. Talk about a show rich in tech history. That's IFA. The executive director for IFA is Jens Heithecker. Mr. Heithecker, welcome back into tomorrow. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
I would expect you to be more than great, like ecstatic.
I'm a little bit tired after all the press conferences, the speeches, and then it's really a stressy time for me. I'm happy to sit here with you and to relax.
Exactly. First time probably this whole week where you've actually sat down for more than a minute, and we're glad to have you. And it speaks volumes about you and your staff, because it's a team, a large team as it's grown over the years, that work the entire year to put this week together every year.
Yeah, indeed. It's not a 2 weeks job. It's a job for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
We already started the preparations for next IFA.
I imagine.
Even if we don't have finished this current IFA. It means it's a huge show. It's the worldwide largest show. And we integrate so many of the big names with their most important presentations a year. Mm-hmm. It means it's a job.
It is a job, by all means. One that's an enviable job, too. A lot of people say, yeah, that Jens guy, he's got the best job ever with all this cool high-tech stuff. And I say, well, no, I think I do, but you have one of the next best jobs ever. But
indeed, you're right. But my problem is another one. I see every time the most sophisticated products, the newest products, and I can't afford every in my home.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And that's indeed a gap.
Yes, in fact, it's more like a tease. Oh my gosh, great. Why did we do a show on the stuff that I wish I could have all of, and none of us could afford all of it? Well, maybe a couple of people around the world could, but that's beside the point. And what's neat is how you mentioned that you bring these companies that bring these coolest products to market. And in the case of IFA, unlike other shows around the world, you're doing it before the holidays.
Yes.
So people in many cases are here introducing new product that's available now or will be in the next month or so, when folks are looking for that coolest, newest, most awesome tech item for the holidays. And it's the best Christmas gift ever, for example.
Yes, indeed. We often ask why we do it around the Labor Day.
Yeah. Because, by the way, I have to interrupt you there. For the last 14 years, we have labored on our U.S. holiday, Labor Day. And as we record this interview, it's Labor Day. And we're working. What's wrong with that picture?
You name it and you did it.
Yeah, that's true. But we enjoy what we do, so hey, it's not work when you love it, right?
No.
So yes.
But honestly, we have to be as early as much after the holiday season, the summer holiday season.
Yeah.
Means especially for the Spanish, French, and all the rest of the European markets, the time before end of August is...
That's true, and you're calling holidays what we know as vacation time. So
it's the main vacation time.
Yeah.
But for France, for example, it's holiday. 4 weeks, France is closed more or less.
Wow.
And means, but we have to start very early in September to get prepared. The retailers, the buyers here, they can see and order the products for their holiday season.
Yeah.
For the Christmas season, and that means we are in between this pressure of vacation time and the holiday season for the retailers, and that's the reason why we organize every year in the early September this show here.
And unlike your counterpart in the U.S., CES, which they say doesn't stand for anything, Consumer Electronics Show, we all know that. But the fact is, unlike them, they don't allow consumers into the show. You not only allow consumers into the show, but thrive on it. And I think all the exhibitors love the fact that you allow consumers in, because their opinions are immediate.
Okay. Besides, every professional is a consumer as well, and the same person.
Yeah.
But of course, we invite consumers, the real consumers, and we invite them for 2 or 3 reasons. First of all, if they're interested in the newest products, why shouldn't they see that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it's good for the companies, it's good for the consumers, and it fits together. But it started in a long history of IFA that the industry learned it's important to integrate the consumer in the new product lineup, so in the new technologies, so fast and so early as they can. And this is the first stadium they can do it. They publish the new products, the new technologies here, and to integrate the consumers, to inform them directly, it's important. And even for trade visitors and for the press, it's interesting to see how consumers interact with the new products, with the global brands. It's, let's say, the reality check for the new products, for the new brands, to see will they have a response by the consumers or not. And for the retailers, it's very smart before they set their orders to watch consumers.
It's almost like a focus group, as we would call them, where I'm sure that they spend good money to be here and floor space and so forth, and the cost of showing product. But
as long as you call 100,000 people a group, then it's okay.
That's true. That's very true. But every year we see folks making diligent notes from these consumers, families and so forth, that are asking very obvious questions. Well, why is the button there? Why isn't it available in blue? And they're writing down notes like crazy to say version 2, we need to do these things because that's what the public wants.
That's important for the engineers, for developers, but it's even important for the retailers because this will be the questions the retailer will have in their shops
that's
later.
Right. Prepared to answer those questions as well. Oh, very cool. Now let's talk about the growth of IFA. We've been doing it for 14 years. You personally haven't been doing it since 1924, or if you have, you really keep an amazing young look. But the show has been around. Yeah, I got you puzzled on that one. Has been around so long that I'm fond of saying Albert Einstein, one of the first keynote speakers. No other show can say those kinds of things. And when we talk about this show being rich in tech history, but let's talk about the growth over the years and what has to make you very happy and very proud, you and your team, continuing to build this show. You don't have enough space. You keep building and adding halls, and it's still not enough.
You're right. We started as a German-based show for the German markets, but we learned in the globalized market, in the globalized world, it doesn't make sense to have a local market only in focus. Means we call it the internationalization conception. We did it. We realized it over the years. It was a long way. Means we were in good contact with the headquarters in Japan, in Korea, in America, and China, and we invited them. And at the end, I think it's the most relevant marketplace globally for the consumer electronics home appliance industry for the holiday season. Nowhere else in the world you will have a meeting point in this size for international media, for international trade visitors. And of course, there's a bad thing coming along with its growth. We booked out. And we have such a long list of companies waiting for a booth that we were thinking twice this year especially how to help them out. Means we added an additional exhibition site within the city, a smaller one, to IFA to allow especially ODM manufacturers, the supply chain of the industry, to be present in an only B2B market situation. Means this year we have 1,800 plus exhibitors, means it's an addition of 200 exhibitors from the year before.
Wow, and you had to just put them slightly off-site because there's no more space here.
It was the only way.
Yeah. And yet you're continuing plans in the future of somehow adding additional room. Maybe take over the new airport. That's a sore subject.
That's a different subject.
Yes.
We will see. No, I think it's good to have a reasonable size. It's not good to be too big. At the end, you try to get an overview, and it's not possible if you have 500, 800,000 people in the same place.
True.
We think it's about quality structure as well. And of course, we add other new events. We had a new event in China, in Shenzhen, in April. We have other opportunities for our exhibitors, for the media to meet, to come together around IFA, to get the newest information from the industry, the newest ideas about products. I think there is much more opportunity for growth than only numbers of exhibitors.
That's very true. And it's a good problem to have, of course, that you've got to continue.
But it's a problem, as you mentioned.
It's a problem nonetheless. And for exhibitors especially, they say, but we have so many more products and we don't have room to show them. Well, what can I say? Show the most important ones. Show the newest. And
we love and hate the situation at the same time.
Exactly. It's one of those things. You want to learn more about what, in fact, Jens and his team are up to, you can visit ifa-berlin.com. You hear us mentioning that every week on the show, especially with our This Week in Tech History feature with Chris, and of course the IFA updates section as well. Always fascinating to know the number of products and categories of products that came from this show. That just the growth has been just unbelievable. Thanks so much for kicking off once again our IFA broadcast.
Thank you, Dave.
Our pleasure. IFA-Berlin.com, intotomorrow.com, of course, for more. We'll link you to all of our guest sites. And remember, throughout the entire broadcast this week, today 3 hours, next week 3 more hours of IFA coverage from Berlin, Germany, we also have video of all the guest interviews so you can see the products we're talking about. So be sure to hit us up at intotomorrow.com. Back for more of IFA in Berlin, Germany. I'm Dave Graveline on the Advanced Media Network.